On today's episode of Photowalks, we are going to the #2 electric city in Japan, Osaka, considered Japan's kitchen because it's the home of the best street food. We're also going to check out Kobe, the port town. Let's get going. I'm Jefferson Graham. I'm a lifelong photographer and journalist. On Photowalks, we are visiting the world's most photographable places, and I'm offering tips on how to get pro-level photos on your phone. Now, before we get going, 3 quick things you need to do. First of all, is your battery at 100%? Have you checked your storage to make sure you have room for photos and videos? And have you cleaned off your lens in case it's dirty? That said, let's go on a photo walk. We are where else but Japan, not Tokyo, but Osaka. This is Japan's second largest city. It's electric, it's live, it's going to be the home base of the 2025 World Expo. It's considered one of the great spots in the world for street food and, of course, street photography. We're going to be checking out some of the best photo spots in Osaka, including the historic castle, and we're going to be the street food, of course, and we're going to be up in the skies looking down at the city of Osaka. I'll show you where to go for that. Well, I'll tell you real quick about Osaka. It's in the Kansai region, which is home to the historic city of Kyoto, which is home to the port city of Kobe, and of course, electric Osaka. Let's begin this photo walk by checking out the food scene, which is right down this way. So come join me.
The heart of the street food district is right on the other side of that big bridge, and it's a Times Square-like jam-to-the-rafters experience of sensory overload. You've got the giant-sized animated crabs and octopus clowns and lots to keep your eyes busy. Food-wise, the 2 big attractions here are takoyaki, which is a fried octopus ball, and okonomiyaki, a pancake-like delicacy that's topped with fish or meat. Photo-wise, have fun taking snaps of people. Street Photography 101, right? Speaking of photos, the image that most people come here to get is on that big bridge in the center of the district with the Glico Running Man directly behind you. Now, Glico is the Japanese candy maker best known for Pocky chocolate treats, and that sign has been a staple of the area since 1935. For myself, I prefer just taking photos of people being silly for their selfies. The best place to be for the shot, anywhere on the bridge where you can find a spot. Next stop is going to be the observation decks, but before we do, since we're talking food, it's not just Dotonbori where they go crazy for this stuff. The cheesecake of Osaka is world-renowned as well, and people stand on really long lines to get it at any time of the day. You can't buy this stuff anywhere but at the Rikuros 11 stores, hence the lines. What's the magic of the cheesecake? Well, it's light and fluffy and unlike any cheesecake you've ever tasted before. Well worth it to do the line. Osaka is a city of nearly 3 million people, and for our photo walk, we're going to have to take the train around town because things are pretty spread out. Here we go.
All right, I promised you some pretty cool views. Let's go to stop number 1 and check out the view of Osaka from way up there as high as they'll let us go.
The Omeda Sky Building is in the heart of Osaka near the main Osaka JR station stop, which is where you connect to get trains to other parts of the city. It also happens to be across the way from the largest camera store in the city, Yodobashi. Just saying. You'll have to pay 1,500 yen to go up there, but let's face it, that's a lot cheaper than renting a helicopter. Nighttime is when you get the best shots of the city, but you do have this big obstacle in all those windows and those nasty reflections. Well, I have 2 saves for you. First of all, if you're shooting with a smartphone, just press the camera all the way up to the glass, and your reflection is now gone. Secondly, walk up the stairs. You'll find yourself with an even better open-air view with no glass or reflections. Pretty cool. They'll even let you bring your tripod up here, which is where I shot the time lapse, and I got all those great twinkling lights. The other great overhead shot is in another section of town at the Harukas building, which has an even higher view. Let's go inside and take a look.
Okay, I've got a pro tip for you. The Harukas building next door will take you even higher, 60 flights for another 1,500 yen. And you get to wait online, or you can go up to the 16th story and go out to the observation deck for free. And if you have a choice between day or night, definitely go for night, because that's when the city view is most impressive.
Now we're going to go lower and head over to the historic Osaka Castle, originally built in the 1600s and then rebuilt in the 1930s. It sits in the center of a giant park, and just like Dotonbori, the masses really do come here for selfie time. Getting a good shot of the castle, it's a toughie with so many people out there, but the website Walk Over the World recommends getting it from outside the castle moat with the reflection of the castle in the water. If you don't get there and you're standing right in front, well, I got an idea for you too.
Well, as you can see, it's kind of hard to get a really great shot of the castle with lots of people, as always. Be here early, there's crowds everywhere. And if you have a telephoto lens on your smartphone, that might go a long way for zooming in on some of the details, like the beautiful gold up there. Aside from that, I would just raise your phone up a little bit and do the best you can.
Now, if you type Osaka photos into Google, the top two images will be Dotonbori and the castle. You might occasionally also see this one, the Tower of the Sun statue, which was originally built for the 1970 World's Fair in Osaka. With the World's Fair coming back in 2025, you might start seeing more of it. To visit is a trek into the suburbs, but the old fairgrounds is now a beautiful park, and if you time it right, you could see lots of sakura trees in the spring.
So if you're coming to Osaka the first time, definitely go to Dotonbori, definitely go to Shinsekai, Osaka Castle. Go there, knock yourself out, have a great time, and then come here.
This is my friend Matt Kaufman, a New York expat who has lived in Osaka for over 25 years. He's a writer for the Osaka.com website, and he agreed to meet me and show me his off-the-beaten-path Osaka, the stuff that doesn't make the guidebook. And naturally, this is where I got the best, most unique photos of the city. Quite a photo walk, I must say.
Okay, so if you want to take a photo of someone in Japan and you get permission, you could say pose, and then say cheese in Japanese is hai cheese, and usually they'll flash a peace sign, but it's a heads up like, okay, I'm about to press the shutter.
I took Matt's advice to heart and really set out to capture the feeling of Osaka in the people.
Because people in Osaka are known for their food and their humor. There's a very strong sense of humor. Even if there's a language barrier, it transcends the language barrier, and you get the feeling that you're welcome.
To meet Matt required a roughly 30-minute train ride on the loop line from Osaka Station.
We're in an area of Osaka called Nishi Tengachaya. Tengachaya is an area of Osaka that means the tea house under heaven.
So I tell people I'm going to Japan, they say,
Right.
oh, have a great time in Tokyo. So no, I'm going to Osaka. And they say, oh, Osaka, where exactly is that? So it's the other side of the country. And I say, oh. And then they
Right.
sort of stare at you.
Right, Osaka is the western part of Japan. It used to be called the Wild Wild West, and it has its own characteristic. It's famous for its street food. And I think in the last couple of years, people have discovered there's this amazing street food, partially through people like Anthony Bourdain, and partially through just wandering the streets and trying it. So I think it's a more hands-on experience. Like if you enjoy talking to people or trying new types of food or just engaging with people who have an incredible sense of humor, then Osaka is the place where you should definitely visit.
And not just Osaka, nearby Kobe, a port city, is authentic Japan in a smaller urban setting. It's also home to one of the 2 Chinatowns in Japan. When we come back, we will head to Kobe, and don't forget, we also have the photo tip segment coming up.
And now a quick word from our sponsor, and that would be me. I want to tell you all about my iPhone photography course. As you know, I shoot every episode of Photowalks on mobile phones, mostly the iPhone. People say to me all the time, how can I get pro-level photos like you, Jeff? Well, I give all my tips and tricks and secrets in the course, all the hidden settings that will take you from snapshots to pro-level photos. It's available at jeffersongraham.com/courses.
I love Photowalk.
Our Photowalk visit to the Kansai region of Japan began in the electric #2 city, Osaka, which of course is the street food capital of the country. Our next stop, the port city of Kobe, known for its international flair and of course as the birthplace of Kobe beef.
It's a port city. It's on the water. It's surrounded by mountains. It feels smaller than many of the other big Japanese cities, even though it is one of the top 10 cities in the country. It's right smack in the middle of the sea and the mountains, and a fair-sized city with an international flavor thanks to the port. The trains can take you to Kyoto and Osaka and other nearby places very quickly, and while you're here, you can walk the streets without being part of a mob scene. Kind of.
Then add in a vibrant waterfront, a really cool Chinatown, fun historical foreign district, and the one thing that Kobe's best known for more than any other, the world famous Kobe beef.
There's a lot of stories about Kobe beef. The cows are on the side, they're treated better, they're massaged at the end of the night. Sometimes they're even massaged with beer and wine. I don't know if any of it's true. I know that it's expensive and people say it's great. Let's try it. Barbecue?
Hi, barbecue. This one?
Yes. Barbecue Kobe beef.
One stick of...
Is it as great as they say? Kobe beef, is it really great?
Great.
Very good?
Photographer.
Here you goes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Kobe beef, let's give it a try.
Here's the honest truth. As street food, Kobe beef is overpriced and generally not great. In a restaurant, however, way better. But if you want to talk food and specifically camera highlights, well, in Kobe, it's all about the breads.
Okay. Oh, very pretty.
You are looking in here at traditional baguettes, of course. Then we move on to garlic bread. We've got pierogies. We've got apple pie croissants. We've got rolls that are bacon filled. We've got deep fried treats. We've got deep fried treats that have egg curry or beef inside, and of course, chocolate croissants. And that's just a handful. Okay, ready to start the photo walk? We're going to begin at the Motomachi station, and we will continue through downtown en route to the harbor. Now, this is a walk that on paper should last just over an hour, but because we'll be stopping for photos, you can expect a full day out there with your cameras and phones. Kobe's Chinatown, known as Nakanmachi in Japanese, dates back to 1868 and the opening of the port, which brought in immigrants. However, it was destroyed in World War II, rebuilt, and then severely damaged again in the 1995 Kobe earthquake, and rebuilt once more. Today, it's one of the most thriving tourist locations in Kobe, attracting thousands on a busy weekend day, and the most popular items sold are the street food and the knickknacks. But photographically, how about all those wild colors, specifically the big splashes of red?
Oh, wow.
Kobe is uniquely situated in between the mountains and waterfront, so it's rather ripe for cool photos. Where to get the best shots of the city? Well, City Hall in the center of the Sanomiya district lets folks go up to the 24th floor for a view. Pretty cool. Another option to get your shot is heading up to the nearby herb garden or taking the ropeway up to the top to Mount Roko, which is the biggest peak in town. Down on the ground, you can get some of the buildings from the American Park, which is part of the waterfront district. Or better yet, hop a JR train and get off at the Maiko exit, where you can photograph the city from here and get a double bonus. The second longest suspension bridge in Japan is right here. It's dubbed an engineering marvel, and it's one of the coolest areas of Kobe to visit.
Once you get off the train, you'll think, well, I'll just take the picture here. Well, no, you won't. It depends on where the sun is. If the sun is shining on the bridge, follow the sun because you want that shot. When I got off the bridge, it was in the shade, kind of dull. I went to the other side. The other tip I have for you is to keep on walking. Walk as long as you can to the third platform. That's where you'll get your best shot.
The Kitano area is sort of the international hub of Kobe, where foreign merchants lived after the port was opened all those years ago. Now it's a popular tourist spot. It's fun to walk around here and would make a great backdrop for portraits. The old mansions all charge admission to get in and are pretty stuffed with tourists. We have photo tips galore for you in our regular tips segment coming right up after the break.
And now a quick word from our sponsor, and that would be me. I want to tell you all about my iPhone photography course. As you know, I shoot every episode of Photowalks on mobile phones, mostly the iPhone. People say to me all the time, how can I get pro-level photos like you, Jeff? Well, I give all my tips and tricks and secrets in the course, all the hidden settings that will take you from snapshots to pro-level photos. It's available at jeffersongraham.com/courses. Photo tip time. If you're going to Japan, you're going to a country where it could rain, and if it rains, your smartphone will be your best friend because late model smartphones are water resistant. They are great to photograph in the rain. When I was coming up as a photographer, I would dread the rain because it could ruin my camera. Not so with the phones. Water resistant, as I said, and you're going to see amazing colors of the neon. You have more neon in Japan than anywhere I've probably been to, and in the morning and right after sunset, you get beautiful reflections all over town. Now, I told you that the phones were water resistant. One problem is that sometimes the touchscreen is not as responsive. And so if that happens, use the volume up button on the side of the phone to snap your images, or start a video and let it start recording that way.
And if you can, have some fun with umbrella shots. They always really scream, hey, it's raining outside, and really look cool.
Now back to neon. Osaka, as I mentioned, has some of the best neon you'll see anywhere, and it's great for photos. The best time to get your neon shots are right after the sun sets, before the sky shifts from a light blue to a dark black. Secondly, if you try to get a shot of somebody standing in front of the neon, they are going to be nothing but a silhouette unless you happen to bring a light with you, which I'm guessing you didn't. So here's my save. Turn them around and have them lit by the neon the beautiful colors on their face, and I think that's a great save. If you visit some of the buildings where you can get a great overhead view of Osaka or Kobe, remember my tip because it always works. You'll be looking through glass, and the glass will either be dirty or producing unwanted reflections. So here's what to do. Your phones are flat. Put them right against the window, and my bet is that those reflections are going to disappear and you'll get a great shot.
Remember that nothing makes vacation photos pop like pictures of locals to bring home. Even with the language barrier, it's easy to do. Just hold up the phone and say photo or point to the phone. The subject will either say yes or shake their head no. Tip, have a business card of some sort to show off. It really helps to break the ice. If you don't have one, you could pick up one easily online or locally for $10 to $20. Now, my group in Osaka enjoyed the experience so much, they even agreed to let me organize a group photo, which turned out to be one of my favorite pictures of the trip. Now back to that great bridge in Kobe. Now I shot it from the left side. I shot it from the right side. I tried all the angles because that's what I always do. Lots of trial and error until I find what I like. Now here my favorite was actually standing directly under the bridge and looking up at her vertically using the 0.5 ultra wide angle lens. It's a keeper.
Lastly, a quick word about food. You're shooting the street food. You probably want to get a selfie of you eating, maybe shoot a reel or a short. My word of advice, it's not photographic advice, it's common sense. Let the food cool down first. Don't be one of those people who takes a bite and watches as the food explodes in his or her face. I know someone who did that, and it's not pretty. And that's a wrap for today's episode of Photowalks. For more information about some of the places we visited, be sure to check out our website and be sure to come back next week for another episode. Thanks for joining me on this photo walk. What was your favorite scene from the show? What was your favorite photo tip? Which photo tip might you have a question about? I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Meanwhile, do me a favor, stay tuned for more of our episodes right here and right here. We have shows from all over the country, all over the world. I'm Jefferson Graham, and I'll see you on the next photo walk. Bye-bye.